Okay, welcome everybody. So today we're going to be talking about how to teach an essential oils class. So who has taught their own class so far? Have you taught one?
Kind of.
Kind of? Okay.
If there's a box for kind of.
Okay, that works. Not yet, not yet. Okay, so we have two different ways that we grow our business. Okay, so we have one-on-ones, and I did bring this. I don't think we're going to have time to tap into talking about how to do a one-on-one. That could be a totally separate class, but after class, you can come take a look at this. And this is a great sheet to have on hand when you're meeting with people one-on-one. We all grow our businesses differently, so sometimes one-on-one works better for a lot of people. Like my upline has grown her whole business by doing one-on-ones and aroma touches. I have a 3-year-old, so I don't have time. I just don't have time. I would love to be able to meet with everybody one-on-one. I just can't. I can't fit it all in. So for me, what works for me is having an essential oils class, having like 5 or 6 people in a class. Generally speaking, you want to have about 6 people, no more than that, per one wellness advocate. So if you're team teaching, you can have up to 12 people. The thing is, when class is over, everybody's going to want to leave. You want to have a chance to be able to talk to everybody. So if it's too many people, they're going to be out the door. You're not going to get a chance to talk with them. So you want to make sure it's about 6 people to one wellness advocate, and you never go over 1 hour. So if you can keep your class right around 40-45 minutes and leave the last 10 minutes for closing your class, then you have a few minutes where you can sit and talk to people and you're still within that hour, and it works out much better. Something happens psychologically right at 60 minutes. As soon as you hit 60 minutes or past, you've lost them. So you want to make sure you take advantage of the time, stay on task, stay on schedule. And somebody, while we're doing this, the coffee shop closes at 6, so somebody tell me at like 10 till, so I make sure I stay on task too. Because I don't see the clock in here.
It's 9:07.
All right, so we're good. So let me just tell you that when I first started, I just had these ideas that I would teach an essential oils class, and I would randomly say, I didn't have any training. I mean, I've taught for about 20 years, but not essential oils classes. I've taught ballroom dance and kids classes and things like that. But I would just randomly pick, okay, I'm going to do a class on frankincense. And so I would ask my upline, and they'd be like, yeah, that sounds great. And I would research. I'd go home, and if you type in one oil, you could spend days and days and days looking at one oil. I don't know how I managed to sign people up, but I did. But I never signed somebody up at a class. Never. And so sometimes I would go home and my husband would say, how was your class? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, did anybody sign up? I'm like, no. I was missing something. And I would always say, I don't know, I'm not doing something right. So then I was invited when I hit Elite to Elite Retreat. So if anybody knows Elise Shedeby, and you can look her up, she's one of the top leaders in doTERRA. I believe she's double presidential diamond. And so I had a chance to spend 3 days of training with her and her top leaders and her husband, and it was really amazing. And so what I'm teaching you today is really how she says to teach a class, because as soon as she went over this, I was just like, oh, God, that's so easy. And so the idea of when you teach a class is that it's very duplicatable. Don't teach a class to where your friends are going to come and be like, oh, you're a rock star, you sound like a doctor or a scientist, I could never do that. That's not what you want. You want people coming to your classes where you kind of sort of keep it at a kindergarten level to where everybody that comes can duplicate it, and they leave thinking, okay, this is easy, I could definitely do this. That's how you grow your business. So everything that we're going to do today, so you have, and if anybody at home is looking at this and you want these handouts, you can go to contact me on my website, carriefernandez.com, and I can email them to you. So everything is done in 3s when you do a group class. It's very simple. You have an introduction, you have the body of your class, and you have a close. If you want to get really good at your introduction and how to close a class, and the middle part, you can change depending on your classes. So for example, in a couple weeks on the 15th here, I'm doing how to boost your immune system naturally. Okay, it doesn't matter if I was doing that, if I was doing a class on introduction to essential oils, sleep oils, like I could do anything I want, but that body of it, I'll adjust the oils that I talk about to pertain to that class. But my introduction and my close are the same. And it doesn't matter if I have people, I have a lot of people that always come to my classes over and over again. And sometimes they'll say, oh, I've already been to an intro class. I've been to 5 intro classes. We'll come, I promise you'll learn something new. And I will specifically change, I think, Maria, didn't that happen with you? I was like, come, you'll learn something. And I'll try to specifically change up some of the things that I talk about, just so they're learning something new. Some of the top leaders I've heard, diamonds and above, say that they've only gotten good at teaching one class. They teach the same class over and over again. And that's kind of this idea too. So you don't have to learn how to teach a million different kinds of classes. What you want to do is get super comfortable with, I'm sorry, my eye is twitching. I'm not winking at anybody. Hopefully on video you can't see it from there. But so you want to get super comfortable with the top 10 essential oils. So focus on the oils that are in your home essentials kit and the family essentials kit. You want to be able to say many different things about those 10 oils. And just with those 10 oils, you can mix up your classes and teach all different kinds of classes. Okay, so when we teach a class, doTERRA really wants us to teach from the Live, Share, Build guides, which I didn't bring with me, but as of right now, do you have them? Yay.
Yes, I did.
As of right, and look, he's all ready to go. Awesome.
And natural solutions.
Oh,
Just in case.
oh, this is great. Thank you. All right, so we have 3 guides. We have a Live guide, a Share guide, and a Build guide, okay? So just so you know, these are now printable for free in your back office, okay? These actually will go all the way up. There'll be one of these to get you to every level, which is new. It's something that just came out this past week at Leadership Convention. But these have been around for a while. So when you meet with somebody after they sign up, you should be bringing them a Live guide. It teaches them the products and the things that they can use day to day, helps them get on LRP, things like that. The Share guide is also one, you, depending on the person, you might want to give to them, but this is great for the person that just loves the oils, loves to have parties, just maybe might be interested in making a little bit of money, or maybe not. Maybe you can entice them to host a class for you, and you give them like a diffuser and some oils or something like that. But you can give them this that helps guide them along with how to invite people, how to get people to your classes, stuff like that. And then obviously building is going to go a little bit further, and it's going to talk about really how to grow your business and how to make money. So those are 3 keys, very important parts of us growing our business and sharing. Well, when we teach a class, we still want to talk about live, share, and build during our class. Because what we're doing is we're setting all the people up at our class to duplicate what we're doing. So if we're implementing live, share, and build within our class, it's very simple to talk to them about it because they're already kind of accustomed to listening and hearing about it. So I did write some stuff verbatim down of how I do my classes. So what I suggest is you can use mine word for word. You can go to some, at the very bottom, I'll go over some links. I think it's on here somewhere, but where you can listen to some other people do it. When you hear something that you like, write it down, word for word. Put it somewhere where you're going to see it all the time. Sometimes we're more comfortable saying certain things than others. The things that you're not comfortable in saying, those are the things that you need to write down and work on it, because nobody teaches a great class without working on it and practicing it. And the more you do that, the more comfortable you're going to be with saying any of it, and the more comfortable you're going to come across talking to people. Okay, so 3 things. We have our introduction, we have the base of our class, and then we have our close. So in the introduction, if you have somebody hosting a class for you, you want them to edify you. So if I asked you, Robbie, to teach a class for me, or for me to teach a class, or if you want to host a class, I would probably write like maybe 3 or 4 sentences. I'd email it to her or text it to her, and basically giving her an idea of how she can edify me. Because otherwise, you might be having somebody, you might be going to a class and teaching a class for somebody that doesn't really know you. You want to pinpoint a couple great things that they can say about you. If you don't have somebody to edify you, then you want to introduce yourself, okay? The next thing you're going to do is your story, which is your why, okay? This could be a whole class in itself, but on the next page, I wrote a couple tips on how to find your why, and I suggest going home and working on this on your own, so you can come up with a really great why, and then you need to be able to say it backwards and forwards because you're going to say it all the time. So I just wrote a couple little things. Stories are powerful ways to connect and rely on the emotion behind why you do what you do. People do the business with those that they know and they like and they trust. Your story helps them determine if you are worthy of trust. Your story is simple, sincere, and at times even vulnerable. Explanation of why you will be willing to make the time to visit with them or why you're doing a class. So it's really important that this is your connection with people. Anybody can go out and sign up for doTERRA. They don't need any of us. They don't. Why do people sign up with me? I think they sign up with me because they know me, maybe they like me, maybe they know that when they have issues they can come to me. Okay, so I've had people, in the past who have signed up with other people, but they don't get that attention that they need, and later on fall out and then come back, and then they sign up with me because they know if they have an issue, they can text me pretty much whenever, and I'll be there to help them, or I'll help give them the tools to find the things that they need. So we lead by education in doTERRA. So it's very simple in this business to get people on board, because it's not like when they come to a class, you're not selling them on the business. It's not like going to like an Amway event or something like that. You're teaching them healthy natural solutions that they can have for their family. People should be thanking yes for introducing to these wonderful products, right? So when you're coming up with your why, these are the things that you want to cover. And you don't want to spend more than 2 minutes on it, okay? Background, you want some kind of background. You want to talk about why you wanted something different, right? How you were introduced to the oils, any concerns or fears that first maybe held you back from moving forward with the oils. You experienced any, I think that's a typo on number 5, but an experience basically that helped you realize how the oils work. Because a lot of times in the beginning, people are brand new, they're hearing all these stories, and it's kind of like, do they really work? So give your story of something that has happened, or if you don't have any stories yet, which is kind of how I was in the beginning, you can borrow mine or borrow other people's stories until you've used the products long enough to develop your own. And then why you want to share them now. Those 6 tips are things that need to happen in your why, and you need to take about 2 minutes to cover your why, and that's it. Don't spend an hour talking about your why, because people are going to fall asleep, okay? Short, sweet, they get to know you, done. So the next thing you're going to do, this is where we're going to share our agenda. Any class I teach, even if I'm teaching ballroom dance, I tell them, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to learn this is what it's going to look like, and at the end of it, this is what you're going to need to work on. Done. Super simple, right? You're laughing. Just one of my students do. So something that you want to say is, so this is where we sort of share the agenda, but introduce the live, the share, the build. So for the live, you would say something like, you're kind of giving them an idea and an overview of what we're going to do today. You would say, my goal for today is really to educate and empower you so you have the right tools to use in your own home as a first line of defense. Okay? I wrote that down and practiced and practiced and practiced so it would come out smoothly. I typed it there for you. You can just practice it if you like it. This came from Share Success. Okay, it's a training program. I really like that because you're telling them what you want. You're talking about living. That's living. That's the living day to day. You're talking about helping them understand that you're going to get natural solutions into their home today. Okay, so that's a key thing to say. And I always like to say, I'm not against modern medicine in any way, but if I can help my family naturally, I'm going to do that first. Because it's true. If I have to go to the doctor, I'll go to the doctor. Or maybe I'll make a joke like, I left my epidural, or, I just had hip injections, I had stem cell injections. I will have no problem telling you how much I love modern medicine. The fact that I've waited like 6 years to have these injections, and I feel so much better than I have in the last 6 years. Like, that would not happen without modern medicine. Unfortunately, there's no oil I can put way up in there in those hairs to make it regenerate. So it's really important that people understand that, because a lot of times people think when we're talking about oils that we're like, they're thinking like snake oils, or, oh, you're one of those people who won't take your kids to the doctor, or, things like that. That's not what it is, right? We're just looking for natural solutions and alternatives, right? So make sure that you say that. So you want to cover your live, right? The goal for today, educate, empower, that whole little thing right there. So the next thing I didn't write, but because I wrote this yesterday kind of quick, but you want to touch on share and build. So something you want to say right here after you talk about, I'm not against modern medicine in any way, blah, 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 blah. The next thing you want to do is touch on share. So I would say something like, today, as I go through the class, you're going to think of friends and family members that might benefit from certain essential oils. Maybe your cousin struggles with allergies, or this one has asthma, or this one has migraines, or whatever it is. Jot it down, write it down, see me after class, and I will do my best to send you home with samples today for them. Okay? That's sharing. Right off the bat in your class, you're talking about how you're going to give them free oils so they can share with their people. So now you've touched on live, you've touched on share, and now on build, this is super, super simple. And let me tell you, my class has changed when I started implementing just this little part into my class. So after class today, this is what I say. After class today, if you think any of the things that I said really kind of stick with you and you really enjoy them, if you think this is something that you can do, see me after class because doTERRA has a great mentoring program and I'm always looking to build powerful partnerships. You just talked about building the business and you're willing to take people on and build the business with them and teach them how to do it. Okay, there's your live, share, build. That's your introduction, okay? Hi, come on in. So we just covered live, share, build, all in our introduction. So now you just want to hit your agenda. So basically you're just going to be saying, what you're doing today. So it's always the same. You're going to say, so today we're going to talk about what essential oils are, the 3 different ways to use essential oils, and how to get them into your home. That's it. That's what you're doing. That's what you say at every class. So far, if you get good with that little beginning, it takes some time. And don't be afraid if you're brand new to teaching classes, have a little note card. So I used to do something when I actually used to have a huge fear of speaking in front of people. And so I would be able to teach like dance classes and whatever, 100 people, it doesn't matter. However, if somebody put me in a microphone, I was like, I hate the way my voice sounded on a microphone. Then I opened my own ballroom dance studio and I had no choice but to get up on the mic and speak. So I think my first 3 events that I did, I was like this with the mic. My face planted into the paper, and that's how I spoke because I was really nervous about speaking in front of people. And I didn't want to miss anything. And for me, and maybe you guys experience this too, when you read, do you mess up when you read, when you're in front of people? Because I do. I'll start reading and then like get tongue-tied. But if I just write down a word like whatever I'm trying to, maybe agenda, or maybe I write down intro, live, share, build, agenda. Like I can talk to you guys and make eye contact with you, and then if I lose my place, I can glance down and I can see where I'm at. And just by looking at that one word, I'm not reading what I should be saying. I just see the word, it kind of gets me back on track. There is nothing wrong with teaching your classes that way. And here's another thing too as a side note. Thanks for bringing your natural solutions guy. So this is a longer one, but there's tear pads that are literally one sheet. They have essential oils for dogs. They have sleep. They have everything you could possibly imagine. It's a tear pad, front and back only. That is literally, it's a class. It talks about what essential oils are, talks about different oils that pertain to that, and then talks a little bit about the business at the bottom. So really when you're teaching, and I think most of you have seen that, because if you've been in one of my classes, you already have those, right? Or I've given you notebooks full of them, right? So those are things that you'll hand out to your people, so if you get off track, you can always look down and read from it. So, agenda. So like I said, today we're going to talk about what essential oils are, the 3 different ways to use essential oils, and then how to get them into your own home. Bam, done with the introduction. Now you're moving on into the body of the class, okay? Now, the next thing you want to do is what essential oils are. So have your own way of explaining this, because on whatever paper you're going from, it's probably going to give you the textbook answer of what an essential oil is. Like it's going to say something like, essential oils come from plants. They come from the stems, the roots, the bark, the this, the that, right? And it's kind of boring. So you can, if you do read that, fine, but put your own spin on it. So put something, what did I write here? Essential oils have been around for thousands of years. They date back further than Egyptian medicine. They're volatile aromatic compounds found in different parts of plants. Okay, that's true. You can use that. You can read that. You don't even have to memorize it. But you got to put something else in there so people remember what they are. So a story that I use all the time, and I use it all the time in my classes, and I notice some of my people are teaching saying the same thing, which I don't mind. I like it. I heard somebody say it, and I liked it. And when I hear a story, not just me, all of us, we tend to remember a story more than factual information. So this story that I say is, well, if you have a leaf and you break it apart, you feel the solution run to the tip of the leaf. That's actually the essential oil running in to aid the leaf, and that's kind of how essential oils work within your body. It's a little more visual, right? We can remember that rather than volatile aromatic compounds, right? So kind of give your own spin on it. Give factual information, but then give some kind of little story, something like that. And I think I found that I sometimes, in the beginning, I would go on YouTube and just listen to introductory classes, and there's a lot of really not good ones, okay? But there's a lot of really good ones. Or maybe you just get one little tidbit of information that you're like, hey, I like the way that sounds. Write it down, use it, right? That's pretty much how I came up with the leaf part. And then this is really important to cover, and I think a lot of people miss this. As soon as you talk about what essential oils are, you want to talk a little bit about doTERRA. Because there are a lot of other essential oil companies out there, and we want to make sure they understand that doTERRA is the #1 essential oil company in the world, not the country, in the world. They are only 10 years old. It's a super young company, but they've done that. I think they hit that at like 8 years or something, which is pretty amazing. Just so you all, because most of you in here are on the business side of things, we have the highest retention rate of any network marketing company in the world. Okay, that's amazing, 65%. Okay, Amway's down at like 10 or 12% or something, right? And we've done that in a short amount of time. So I wouldn't talk about the business because it's an essential oils class, but I would talk about certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils. We are the only company that has that. So this is what I like to say when I explain the different grades of oils, because people don't know. You're here to educate them, and it doesn't matter which class you're teaching it, it needs to be said. So certified pure therapeutic grade essential oil, what is that? So if you went to the store and you bought a cleaning product, like a lemon scented kitchen cleaner, that is synthetic, completely fake. There is no lemon in it at all. Okay, if you went to get a massage, okay, and they said, hey, would you like a lavender to upgrade your massage? That's going to be a therapeutic grade essential oil. So it's a little bit higher quality. It's not something that you can ingest, but you're going to get some relaxing benefits out of it. They have a GRAS standard, so the essential oils in the food that we eat. It's considered generally recognized as safe, and I know I put that there. GRAS, generally recognized as safe. So that's in the foods that we eat. So obviously that's a much better grade, right? And then doTERRA has CPTG, Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. That means every single drop that you get is completely pure. There are no fillers, there's nothing synthetic in it. And that is what sets aside doTERRA from other companies. If you go to a Whole Foods, and now they have essential oils at Walmart, they have them everywhere. They are synthetic, they are fake. Okay, so if somebody says, well, I can go for $5 and get whatever oil over here. Well, it's not the same thing. So the way that doTERRA has sourced their oils, they go to the indigenous environments and find the best environment for the trees or the plants to grow in, which is why we get products that are much more superior than anything else. I know there's another company, which I'm not going to say, but there's another company that it's also a very good company, but most of their oils are grown in Utah. But would you like to have a pineapple from my backyard or from Hawaii? I promise I don't have a green thumb, and it's going to taste way better if you get it from Hawaii. So you want to get the best essential oils if you're looking for the best outcome. So the reason why doTERRA, if you look up an oil, doTERRA eucalyptus, there's going to be 50 things that are listed of the things that it can do. When you look at the testing and the studies of other companies and their oils, they don't have as many benefits because of how they're tested and where they're grown. They don't have the same. So it's really important for people to get educated to know. So if you feel like what I just said is like, whoa, overwhelming, too much information, what you need to do is write it down how you want to say it and practice saying it. You do need to touch on the fact of certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils. And it is nice for you to touch on just a little bit of information of sourcing, because people don't understand that doTERRA goes all over the world to source their oils. Sometimes when I teach a class, this point, I like to show a little sourcing video. Not long, like usually 2 minutes. You'll lose people if you play something too long, but just pick something. Go to doTERRA University, you could pick anything. Sometimes if I do classes on like the health products and the vitamins and things like that, there's a great one by Dr. Axe that has a 5-minute video on lifelong vitality. And sometimes I like to pick people who do the videos that are not doTERRA, because sometimes, it's so easy for people to, oh, well, of course, doTERRA, that doctor's going to say great things because he's one of the founders of the company. So, no, I don't want to talk about Dr. David Hill, even though he's fantastic. Dr. Axe is not affiliated with him, and he highly endorses the vitamins, and he's got a great YouTube video. So pick a little video. It's also really great. People get a break from hearing you speak for a second, and they get to watch a video. So you've talked about what an essential oil is. You've talked a little bit about the company, and now you're going to talk about the next part 2. What are the 3 different ways that you use your essential oils, aromatically, topically, and internally? And I'm sure if we went around the room right now, you guys could all tell me little things about each one of those. But you want to make sure you have it locked down what you're going to say, okay? It could be different. Like now that I've taught so many classes, I have different things. Like I have a few different ones for each one. So I will only pick one of each for each one, aromatically, topically, and internally. But that way, if I have a lot of people coming to my classes, I can switch it up if I need to. I don't have to have 10 different ways to do it, but a couple is nice. If you don't have that, stick with one and use the same one all the time. So aromatically, I wrote one down for you specifically, I believe. I think it's on the second page. I'm not going to look for it. I'm just going to tell you. So something about me personally, I really like to hear people's stories. And stories are important to make sure you incorporate stories into your class. However, I personally need to hear scientific information because I don't want to hear about your cousin's brother's sister who had a great experience with peppermint and it got rid of a wart. Just kidding, it doesn't really do that. But you know what I mean? Like I don't want to hear stories all the time. I want to hear a story, but then I want to hear factual information, right? So something that I say when I get to aromatic, I would talk about diffusing, and of course I would have a diffuser going. Another thing when we're doing our class as a side note, your job will be to get them to have as many experiences in your class with the essential oils. Because on average, it is 4 to 12 exposures before somebody wants their own account. Okay? So if they walk in the door and they've never experienced an essential oil, then you have 4 experiences during that class right away to get them there, right? And maybe they've had a couple they've experienced it a couple times. If I invite somebody, I like to give them a sample before they come to class so they have a chance to try it out, and then they get to come and learn about it. But there you go, you have your diffuser going, and I did write this down somewhere on the second page, so if you like it, it's in there somewhere. But I would say diffusing essential oils is really powerful because it only takes 10 seconds to reach the center of the brain, and research shows that it directly affects your hypothalamus and your limbic systems, which are the systems that actually directly affect your reason, your emotions, and your hormones. Okay, I heard that. A lot of people say that before in their own words. Elise Chevy was the first person. And I remember when I heard her say that, I was like, wow. I don't think I could ever say that. Like, it's just so, it's a lot of information, and it does not me. Like, that doesn't come easy for me. So I wrote it down word for word, and I stuck it on the mirror in my bathroom, and every time I'd go in there to brush my teeth, or every time I was in my bathroom, I would read it over and over and over, and then it comes out fluid. So it's not about it is about rehearsing, but if you want to become good at something, you need to do it over and over. Nobody is good at something without preparing for it, right? I taught a foxtrot class last night that I haven't taught in a while, and it was a little bit higher level, and I had to break my syllabus out yesterday and just do a quick review because I wanted to make sure that I was on task, like teaching it the right way. I've been teaching for 19 years, and I still do that. But that's why my classes are good, and they know that I know the right information because I prepare for them. If you prepare for your classes, it's going to be simple for you. Eventually it will be simple for you. The first couple times you'll be nervous. So that's what I say for aromatic, okay? Topically, you're going to talk about, using fractionated coconut oil as a carrier oil. Maybe you go into detail about what is a carrier oil, right? You guys all know what a carrier oil is. They could use grapeseed oil, they could use olive oil. Fractionated coconut oil is my favorite just because it doesn't clog if you're using like a roller ball, but it also sinks right into your skin and it doesn't feel greasy. So people don't know that. Sometimes I'll ask them, do you know what the difference between fractionated coconut oil is and regular coconut oil? What's the difference?
One's a liquid, one's a solid.
One turns into a solid. Yeah, that's not going to work. Can you imagine having a solid coconut oil in your roller ball and you're trying to get it on? No, so you want to make sure people understand the difference between the two. It's your job to educate them. So you're talking about topically, you're talking about the potency of it. And at this time, when you're doing that, you're going to pass around about 2 oils. So I'm going to do it right now for you just because it'll give you a little pick-me-up. But it's also important that during a class, you are getting people to experience an essential oil. So I'm going to pass, if you put pepper, this is exactly what I do in my classes. Take the peppermint, put 1 drop in your hands, rub your hands together, cup it over, don't touch your face. If you were to ever get an essential oil into your eye, it would burn like crazy. Don't try to rinse it with water. You would have to dilute it with an oil, like olive oil or something like that, that would help reduce the stinging, okay? So you want to say that, because if they go like this and they touch their eyes, it will not be a good class for you. So I'm going to pass that around. I'm also going to pass the wild orange around. Wild orange is one of my favorites. It's I'll pass it on this side. Wild orange is very mood enhancing and uplifting and energizing. When I teach a class, I always diffuse these 2, wild orange and peppermint, okay? When I owned my dance studio, I used to do On Guard, peppermint, and wild orange. Okay, so that'll wake you up a little bit, but this is exactly what I do in my classes, okay? Now they're getting 2 experiences with essential oils. They walked in, my diffuser's going, that's 3, and maybe I'm offering water with different essential oils for them to try it in. Wild orange, lemon, tangerine. They've just had 4 in one class. If I sampled them before they came to the class, that's 5. That's what we want, okay? We want as many experiences as possible. I've talked to some people. It's important to pick your oils wisely, okay? Don't pass around Digest-Zen. We all know it's extremely powerful. If you have an upset stomach and you feel sick, literally you put a couple drops in water, a few minutes later you feel so much better. But it smells like black licorice, and I don't know about you all, but I don't like black licorice. And I don't think that's an appetizing smell to pass around. But wild orange and peppermint, it's very good, right? So I know some people that will put some deep blue. You want effective oils. Peppermint, wild orange, deep blue, okay? Any kind of aches or pains, muscle aches and pains. They will walk around and massage deep blue onto the back of people's necks. Now, I don't do that. I don't give massages out while I'm teaching class, but you could, right? Or if you're having a one-on-one. I did have a lady who had an issue, I think it was a knee issue, and she told me at the beginning of class that she was having a knee issue, and when I passed stuff around, actually it was like, maybe it was an upper leg or something. She was wearing a pants. I was like, go in the bathroom right now, rub it on your leg, come back out. By the end of class, she was already signing up because she felt so much better from it. So make sure you choose the oils that you pass around wisely. Use the effective oils. Peppermint, wild orange, deep blue, those are all like very, very effective ones, right? So you're talking about aromatic, we did that. We were talking about topically, we're always talking about carrier oil, and maybe you kind of give a story here about something that's your favorite. Internally, so when people are brand new to essential oils, first of all, doTERRA is one of the only companies that you would take essential oils internally with. So it's important for people to know that. You cannot go to a store and buy an oil and go home and ingest it, right? But when we have the proper essential oils, you can actually use them for anything, right? But natural antibiotic. I was going to say that today, and you texted me about the natural antibiotic that I mentioned in one of my classes. Okay, as soon as I feel like my throat is hurting or I feel just a little under the weather, I go home and I mix a few different oils in a capsule. I do frankincense, melaleuca, lemon, oregano, and on guard, okay, into a capsule, and I take it 3 times with food. And then usually by the next day, it's gone. If I'm already sick or if somebody's already sick, it doesn't mean magically it's going to disappear, but it definitely can reduce the length of time in which you're not feeling well. But internally is other stuff too. It's putting Digestin in your water. Get rid of your Pepto-Bismol, right? There's so many different ways internally to use our oils. This is when I personally talk about vitamins. If you're newer to teaching a class and you haven't tried the vitamins, I don't suggest talking about them because you haven't experienced it. Pick the products that you're using. We're a product of what we use. So the soap, the toothpaste, the laundry detergent, those are some of my absolute favorite products, and I will tell everybody about them. But if you're going to be the person that doesn't try them yourself and you're telling people about them, then that's not really right. So we're a very honest company, so make sure that whatever you're advertising to your people, you're backing it up by using it yourself, which those really are. Like the shampoo, or not the shampoo, the toothpaste and the laundry detergent I really like. Okay, so aromatically, topically, internally. Basically, you're done with the class at this point. Now you have to do the close. How much time do we have?
10 minutes.
Okay.
It's 5:38.
Okay, so when we do the close, well, we have till 6, so we have a little bit more.
Okay.
There are, somewhere on here, I should have 2 links. Okay, here's tips on closing. I wrote it out for you. I don't usually do that because I like to make people take notes when I talk about the close. But this is, I'm cramming a whole lot of stuff into one class, and I do like scripts, right? I like to be able to read something and get really comfortable saying it. So I wrote it down for you. So feel free to use my close for the class. You'll use this in every single class. If you teach the most fantastic class in the world and you don't know how to do a close, you will not have people signing up. It's just the way it goes, okay? And really and truly, when people come to your class, they know that they know you're going to talk to them about how to get oils in their own home. You already said it at the beginning in the agenda, right? Today we're going to talk about what essential oils are. We're going to talk about different ways to use your essential oils. And then we're going to talk about how to get them into your own home. So this is super important. This is where people fall short when they're teaching a class. They teach this great class, but they get super uncomfortable as you go in to talk about the kits and the money part of it. This is not a place to get uncomfortable. This is the part they've been waiting for. So this is where, and again, it's on here somewhere, but I call it a bridge statement, okay? So you need something to tie in this a sentence to tie in this fantastic class right into the close of your class. So you would say something along the lines of, all right, are you guys ready for the best part of class? And now we're going to talk about how to get oils into your own home. It's not that hard. But I promise you, if you are enthusiastic about it, they will be excited about it. If you're like, okay, now we're going to talk about how to get oils into your own home, they can feel that, right? I don't mind talking about it. I think everybody should be using essential oils. I can talk to anybody about getting them into their own home, and I feel very confident with it because I love the product, I believe in it, and I know that there's no other product out anywhere that you can get like this. Okay, I alone have had so many amazing benefits happen. There's a fly in here. That I don't mind talking to people about why they should have the essential oils into their own home. So that's my close is written there. And so, bridge statement. Now we've come to the best part of class. Now we're going to talk about how to get the essential oils into your own home. Okay, that's your bridge statement. So every class that you talk about as you go into the close, this is what you're going to say. There are 3 different ways to get your essential oils: retail, wholesale, and below wholesale. Okay, retail is going to be just like going to Amazon, but you go to my website, you shop just like that, check out, get whatever you want. Most people don't do that. Most people want it at wholesale. So to get yours at wholesale, it's only $35. You only have to place 1 order per year to keep your membership. It's true. You don't have to sell anything. You don't have to buy monthly if you don't want to. $35, order whatever you want. You get your own wholesale account. To keep your account, it's $25 per year after that, and they send you a free peppermint, so it kind of evens out, okay? And I will tell you, my Costco membership, it's kind of like a Costco membership. I always say that. It's not, because my Costco membership is way more than that. Most people can afford $35, and then you get 25% off everything for an entire year. To get below wholesale, and remember I said at the beginning of class, everything's in 3s, right? The whole class, intro, body, close, that's 3, and now your close is in 3 parts. You get retail, wholesale, below wholesale. If you want below wholesale, the company offers something called loyalty rewards points. That's just points for free product. I've heard that said wrong 1,000,001 times because people start talking about LRP and they make it very confusing and difficult for people to understand, probably because not you, but the person explaining it might not have a good understanding of what LRP is. But that's all it is. It's points for free products. Okay, the company rewards us for placing monthly orders. It's just like frequent flyer miles with the airlines, right? The more you fly, the more free stuff you get. The more we purchase through doTERRA, the more free stuff they give us. Okay, they give us points for free products, and then there is a product of the month. If you spend $125, I don't say PV. PV will come after they sign up. I meet with them one-on-one. I go over everything with them again, so they're super clear with everything. But it's PV, but I will say when you place $125 order by the 15th of the month, you get a free product also. So you get points and you get a free product. Isn't that awesome? It's an awesome deal. And then what I'll do is I will have passed around the kits, which I'm sure are in here. So maybe they're not.
Let's say it's almost
There
like
they are.
having your own ATM machine.
So here are your kits. There are quite a few different kits. Doesn't look like all of them. But whatever. Pretend these are all the kits that they have. There's a whole bunch of different kits. Here's the next point where people get uncomfortable. So my best advice for you is don't assume what anybody can afford. You don't know what's in their bank account. You don't know what money they're spending on prescriptions, right? Maybe they're trying to get off prescriptions and they're going to spend a whole lot less on essential oils that might be able to make them healthier because you just don't know, okay? So I've met a lot of people who just assume what everybody can do. So what I highly suggest is have another bridge statement as you start to talk about the kits. So this is what I say. And again, it's in the paperwork that I gave you. I would say something like, now I don't know any of your financial situations, so I'm just going to touch on every kit. Isn't that easy? You basically just gave yourself permission to touch on every kit. And I do. And don't be scared by the diamond kit. Yeah, it's a $2,000 kit or whatever, but I've had people buy the diamond kit. I'm like, whoa, really? The first time I was like, yes. But, you know, sometimes I don't want them to buy the diamond kit because I'd rather them get comfortable and get on LRP and order those products through LRP. But everybody is different. It's your job to tell them their options, not to choose for them. So maybe I would touch on the diamond kit, touch on the essential oil sharing kit, but I would always highlight 2, and I'm going to tell you why. You always want to give 2 yes options, number 1. don't go to the tiniest kit and say Family Essentials kit and then Home Essentials kit, right? I would focus on Natural Solutions and the Home Essentials kit. Why? Because they're both yes options. So if somebody truly can't afford the Home Essentials kit, it's $275. If they can't afford that, they could drop down to the Family Essentials kit. When people are looking at the Family Essentials kit, it's really important that for them to know that if they start with the Home Essentials kit, they're the same kit. But the Home Essentials kit, they get 3 times more oils plus a free diffuser. Okay, and that's one of the main ways we use our oils is diffusing. Okay, it's one of the 3. So it's important for them to have a diffuser, right? So usually if somebody gets the Family Essentials kit, finances are an issue. So, and that's okay. That's why that kit is there. But Home Essentials kit and Natural Solutions kit, don't be scared by $500 because as soon as I started talking about Natural Solutions kit in my class, people start getting that kit like clockwork. And you don't know how much money, I'm still blown away by how much money people spend on vitamins. Because I think when I started using the vitamins, I was like, wow, $79 a month, that's kind of pricey. It's not. You go to GNC and buy like 3 things and you're over that, and you're getting things that have fillers and that aren't good for you. So, touch on 2 kits. My favorite's Natural Solutions kit, Home Essentials kit, and then at the end of class, here's your 3rd bridge statement, okay? So what I would do is say, and just so you know, we have 2 different sign-up sheets for people. We have a wholesale, and then we have a wellness advocate. Oh, what a cough. He needs some oils. So we have I only pass around the wholesale. That's it. Later on, if they decide they want to, make some money, awesome. They can upgrade to a wellness advocate for free. It takes 2 seconds in their back office. They click a button, put in their social or tax ID number. It's done. But sign them up as a wholesale customer. Get them going that way. Get them excited about the products. Give them the business opportunity. Let them know that there is one. You already mentioned it in your class. If people ask about it, great. Let them take advantage of it. Host a class for them. That's the first step. But so what I do, once I finish talking about the kits, I'll say, okay, and then the last sheet you have is just your wholesale agreement form. So go ahead and start filling that out, but I'm going to walk around, and I usually put music on because this is when I have realized a lot of people have very personal information that they need to talk about. And so a lot of times if they just leave, they're uncomfortable about talking about it. So I like to put music on. I come around and help everybody individually. If we were doing a class together, we would both do that because each person takes a lot of time sometimes if they're not sure. Some people know right off the bat, I want this kit, I want this kit. But sometimes a kit is not the best for everybody. If people are having ailments or issues, we need to not sell them on a kit. We need to make sure that we are helping them get the right products in their home. If that means they spend $35 on getting their own account, it probably is still better for them to get the right products that they need. So help them find what is best for that individual, whatever it is. And then the best part is if they do start with a kit, they get free enrollments. You can't lose. You get a deeper discount on a kit, and then you get free enrollment. So most people will start with a kit, and the reason why, bless you, the reason why people do that is, or the reason why doTERRA did that is to help people get a bunch of oils into their own home. Because if you think about it when you started, because I think everybody here started with a kit. If you went home with a lemon and a lavender only, and something happened, your stomach started hurting, you fell and you scratched your knee, whatever the issues are, you don't have the oils to go to when something happens. So the whole point of encouraging a kit is to have essential oils in the home, because they might not know what to do with them right away, but it's a learning process, right? So once you walk around, you take this home. You take the enrollment form home. You go home and you get together with your upline if you don't know how to do it, and they'll help you do it. If you know how to do it, put the enrollment in. And then the first thing that you need to do immediately, and I did write this on the sheet and I have way too many things over here right now, after class, so you sign them up, send them a welcome email. doTERRA sends them one. You need to send them one. Okay, I have a mock one that I use that I give to all my people, which I think I've given it to everybody. You can email me and I'll be more than happy to give it to you. I send 2. I send a welcome letter. A lot of times I will give them, if it's not in a class setting, I will have already given them information on the wholesale, what they get. But literally it's everything that we just, I copied and pasted some of it to this. So a lot of it's the same information.
You mentioned there was another bridge statement, but I don't see it on the sheet.
I might not have. So there's 3 bridge statements. There's one going from the class to closing, and then closing to the kits.
And the third one missing.
What was my first one?
The first one is, well, the best part of the class.
Well, that's probably why, because I talk it instead of, it might not be written, but I'll look at it and I'll tell you after class.
Oh, okay.
I'll look at it. Just,
Okay.
yeah, so right now I got too many things in front of me. So make sure you sign them up. Send them a welcome email. If you sign them up, you probably picked their password for them. Okay, so you need to be giving them their member ID number, even though they got the email from doTERRA. Give it to them again. Give them their password, okay? They're also, now that's new, I don't know if anybody hasn't signed people up in the last couple of weeks, now doTERRA will send them a text message or an email to verify, so you can't get into their account beforehand. But here's another thing that's really important. As soon as they hand you this, I say to them, Flo, do you want me to go ahead and set up your account so you can make future orders if you want to? You don't have to. You can cancel whenever you want to, but do you want me to set it up for you, just to take care of it for you? I've only had one person say no, and I've signed up a lot of people. Okay, that's LRP. That gets them on LRP, okay? Then from there, it's your job to get them to classes and educate. This whole business is about learning. Nobody can learn how to use their oils in 1 or 2 or 5 classes. It is a process. Give them the books that they need, guide them to the Modern Essentials book so they're not calling you for every little thing, right? Because they will in the beginning, and answer all of their questions, but teach them how they can find their own information so you're not running around spending hours and hours and hours helping everybody with all their ailments, right? Help them with the right tools that they need. And then you follow up with them and you schedule it a week later. That way they probably have their oils. You can sit down, you can teach them how to use their oils. I'm certified in Aroma Touch, so I love to meet with people, and the way that I do it is I meet with people, I go over their account, I show them LRP, I talk to them about PV, I show them how they can get their free products, and then I give them an Aroma Touch, and I usually keep it at about 30 minutes, and then I'm done. So you can stretch an Aroma Touch to 30 minutes to 60 minutes. You can get certified. If you guys are interested, I'll let you know. You can give aroma touches without being certified. You just can't charge for it. Estheticians can charge for it. Massage therapists can charge for it. They're charging like around $200 on the strip at some of the hotels for it. My mom is a medical esthetician in Florida. They put it into the spa down there. So you definitely can charge for it, but if you're not, have your license to touch with esthetician or massage, you can't. But it's sometimes, and I think probably some of you in here, maybe all of you, I don't know, at some point I might have looked in my back office and I can see that your order is set for 120 PV, right? I know I've texted you a bunch of times. I don't know. So, but at 125, you get a free product. So I'll text somebody, hey, I see your order's going to go through tomorrow. I just want you to know it's at 120 PV, but if you bump it up $5 more, you get a free product. And most people were looking at the wrong one. Like, oh gosh, I thought it was that. I looked at the wrong total. Thank you.
Or they have it set on 17.
Or they said, exactly. So push your order through so you get that free product. So keep an eye on your people. People appreciate you watching out for them. So that's it for today. Thank you guys. Not you all. I'm periscoping, so